I'm JJ Welsh, your host here in Hiroshima, Japan, joined by today Toru Muramatsu. Thank you so much for joining.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me here today.
It's great to have you. Now, of course, I have had the amazing Alex Kerr on the program many times talking
Hmm.
about his beautiful Chiiori house that he set up in Ia Valley. And Toru, you are the CEO of the Chiiori Alliance, which
Yeah.
manages, is it 5 properties around Japan?
Yeah, five properties. Yeah, those fives.
So we
Mhm.
have properties in the Ia Valley, where Alex first started his own house, and then in Kagawa, where you are right now, right?
Oh, yes. Hmm.
And then also in Kyoto, is that right?
Yeah,
The three different locations.
yeah, Kameoka in Kyoto Prefecture.
Now, I had the chance to visit Alex in Kamioka, so I
Hmm.
was able to see one of the properties that's near his house. So that was really lovely to see it firsthand.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
I
that's
also had the pleasure of staying in beautiful Chiori myself, and what a really special place. Now, you
thank you.
mentioned Chiori Alliance, KK, has started from 2015. You started your connection with Alex about 2008. You said?
Yeah, 2008.
Yeah. Tell
Actually,
us. Yeah.
I found him on TV show in 2007.
Oh, yeah.
That was a pretty much the beginning of everything for me working
Very
with Alex.
nice. Now, Toto, you were telling me a little bit about your background. You studied interior design for a little while in Boston in the US,
Oh yeah.
and it kind of opened your mind to things. Tell us about that.
Hmm. My name is Toru Muramatsu, and I was born and raised in Shizuoka Prefecture, pretty much a center of Shizuoka City. Um, then, after I graduated from high school, I moved to the US, and I started interior design at a really small college there. And then I graduated in 2005, and then came back to Japan. And then after I had a chance to study Japanese traditional wood furniture making in my hometown, Shizuoka. And then I spent 2.5 years doing that. And then uh, when I was finishing the program, I found Alex Kerr on the TV show, and I just jumped into his project in Tokushima, uh, where I had no idea.
That's so nice. Now, you said when you were in the States, you kind of had a revelation, and I think a lot of people do when you go outside your country. You said, I had no interest in Japanese culture and design when I went. I was interested in other things. But when you went over there, you realized, oh, wow, I'm actually interested in Japanese culture and design. Kind of opened your mind to
Mhm.
more of the value of your own culture and tradition and come back and doing furniture and then working with Chiori. You guys, of course, are renovating and restoring, but also building new, beautiful traditional Japanese houses as guest houses. Is that right? You were talking a little bit about your inspiration. Tell us what inspired you by Frank Lloyd Wright. You
Mhm.
mentioned that.
Yeah, when I was in Japan, of course, when I was young, I have no idea about what my root is, and then yeah, as everyone felt that way. Something new, something outside, really interesting for me. And then I don't know why I was so inspired by the U.S. I don't know, but some Western cultures are totally different culture for me anyway. And then yeah, I started feeling like going somewhere else, Japan. And then Yeah, then when I was graduating from high school, my friends just going to university and finding what they want to study, and but I got kind of lost. And then I wasn't actually doing well in high school, so I was just asking myself what I wanted to do really. And then I look back my childhood, and then I I've been loving drawing or making some things, and then uh, kind of liking decorating my room or something. So maybe interior design or making some space and that kind of uh, design stuff. Maybe the one I can um, I can be passionate with. So I decided to go with interior design or something, and then plus some adventure to outside of Japan, and then uh,
That's so nice, and I think that especially when you're young, right? Exploring new horizons and then learning like a lot of travelers talk about when you travel to other countries, you learn a lot about yourself, which is
mhm,
unexpected,
right,
right?
right,
So now I'm showing the UNESCO World Heritage protected Falling Water by
right.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Mhm.
What inspired you about this place?
Actually, this is actually the one I found on the library almost at the midnight. Someday I was working on some assignment, and I don't know. I was looking for some idea in the library, opening up some books, and then yeah, the book was pretty much about this place, falling water, but Frank Lloyd Light, and then I was just amazed by this thing. So first, I didn't really know this is architecture or this is like nature or something. uh, until that point my image of architecture or building was just like you know uh I don't say that that's box but like standing just by itself. But this is really blended into the nature and part of nature, and even like enhancing the nature. So I'm really surprised uh someone really
Isn't
made.
that amazing? Like when you visit one of these beautiful buildings and the location of Falling Water looks like it's right in a beautiful forest. And
Yeah,
then
you don't
is
know
it art? Is it nature? Is it an
it, right.
extension of
Hmm.
nature? Like how can we create more places like this, right?
Right.
And I think Chiodi, you are doing so much of that. Like a lot of the guest houses you have are in such beautiful locations, especially in the Ia Valley, right?
Hmm.
So you can see a lot of parallels to that initial
Right.
inspiration
Yeah.
and then what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Now I can kind of connect those kind of dots and making everything yeah sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, let's talk first about the building that you're in right now. So you're in Chiori Utazu.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about this building. Is it an old house that's been renovated?
Yeah, that's actually Utazu branch is our kind of office building plus guest house space, and then that is different than the building I am in right now. It's in just back there, and I'll talk about this building later anyway. So Chiori Utazu branch is yeah, that's all townhouse anyway, and having our office space. And as I said, guest house area upstairs. And yeah, this is
I
kind of
love
guest
this
house.
engawa.
Right, right.
This traditional engawa is like an
Hmm.
outside hallway,
Hmm.
for people who don't know Japanese houses, and all this old wood and old glass as well. A lot of the glass, you can
Hmm.
tell the old
inside.
style. It's like hand blown glass. It's wonderful to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all those are the Bible Showa period, I think, and people feel like oh, this is like, uh, my grandmom's house or something.
It's lovely.
Yeah,
And then the front design that we're showing now, the front of the office space or community space, um, the walls, are they made of plaster? Is that earthen plaster?
yeah, original plaster. Yeah, I think
Beautifully done. And then the upstairs has a tatami room. Is that for people to stay in?
right. We haven't really touched so much for the renovation. We just clean the ceilings and just like that. And then, oh, actually, this house is a little bit different than these houses. Really, this produced by Alex. The office building is just too small, and then to be honest, we don't really have budget so much. So what we've done was just a really small scale.
Yeah.
But the
I
owner
I
was
love
really.
that all of Alex's designed places and places in the Chiiori Alliance, he always has beautiful antiques,
Mhm,
which he decorates the place with. He is very talented as a
right,
calligrapher. So
right,
his calligraphy often features in these places as well. When I visited one of the locations with him, and he was trying to present, of course, in Japanese style, everything is presented so beautifully. And he was trying to make sure it was presented in the right way so you could appreciate it all.
right.
I think these things are really important, right? Like, it's
Yeah,
hard
definitely.
to have a balance
Mhm,
between an artistic
mhm,
place and a guest house,
right.
right? There
Mhm,
must be a challenge there.
mhm. Yeah, that's the most important or significant point I learned from Alex. Yeah, putting some interior decorations or antiques and some ornaments are making the space totally different. S-
And
Yeah,
then, of
the
course,
pop
having
music.
having these exposed beams
Mm-hmm.
instead of adding false ceilings inside, right?
Right,
And
right.
adding that space, but also that beauty, which is so impactful when you see it in these old
Mm-hmm.
houses, those amazing beams, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the characters of Minka. I think compared to like shrine or like really gorgeous, sophisticated buildings.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
Minka's characters and are those kind of you know handmade and sometimes primitive feeling, especially in Noka Jutaku, yeah, in rural area, especially in the houses in here or yeah, some countryside houses has the feeling of primitive, which Alex loves.
Mhm. And then the places in Kamioka, I showed a few photos already.
Yeah,
They also have a shared private garden view. So
right.
it looks like this has been created for the guests to enjoy the garden view, right?
Yeah, garden view. Yeah,
Is it a challenge to, of course, recreate or enhance these garden spaces?
yeah, I think so. Then especially for cameo Kameoka ones are like you know this actually most of the projects are like in public project, and then in Iyer and in Iptazu in Kameoka, those properties are technically owned by local government, and then we're working with them, and then uh, they're renovating those houses as their public construction project. Uh, think in the case of Kamioka, they are really like enthusiastic about making garden, and then so they're really strong concept or strong idea into the garden. So Kamioka's garden is really gorgeous anyway.
Really pretty. And I think what a great tribute and appeal to this area to get visitors to come in. And this is something fun when I talk to Alex, right? And he talks about when we design these traditional guest houses, we're thinking this is going to appeal to international visitors. But then in actuality, you also get a lot of Japanese visitors who want to stay in these houses,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah, that's what Alex is always saying. Yeah.
Do you see that as well as you're managing the bookings? Are you how much like
Yeah, I think.
international versus Japanese visitors do you
Mhm.
have staying at the places?
Yeah, especially after COVID-19, uh, uh, like inbound tourists are more than Japanese tourists are staying at our place, and then yeah, I do feel Japanese people are looking for real traditional you know things for their trip,
Yeah.
because I think in usual life, especially in city apartment or something, there's no chance to experience or to feel, "Mm, this is Japan and then we are Japanese. And we don't really have tatami room in apartment anymore. Just some apartment, but functionally we don't really need those tatami room anymore in our modern life. So those kids and even my generation are not familiar with the life in tatami room or with tokonoma, or like, that kind of style. So those people, when those people are coming to here, I think they are feeling kind of the same way as foreigners do. So
That's really interesting, isn't it? Uh so like when we see these beautiful traditional features like Engawa.
right, right. This
And
is one.
then, like, I love that community space. We'll talk about that next. But
Mhm,
tokonoma, so you're talking about the area where you would have this little flower arrangement, ikebana, with a hanging scroll. And
mhm.
then Alex often talks about the area on the left of the picture here, that uneven, uh, like,
Yes.
shelf area
Mhm.
and the little storage areas, but it's also beautiful and spacious as a traditional room, but like you said, even for a lot of modern Japanese people, it's unusual to sleep on
Yeah,
tatami
unusual.
or have this kind of room
Mhm.
anymore.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah, actually.
interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning Engawa space. That is really like, I don't know how to describe, but every time people coming to that space, they love that space for almost nothing but that kind of space between the real room and then the outside, that kind of a neutral space. Uh, give people some uh special feeling.
And it's part of the magic of a Japanese house,
All
isn't
right.
it? Because
Yeah.
if you close the doors, like in this picture,
Mm-hmm.
it provides a lot of privacy from
Mm-hmm.
the outside to the inside of the room,
Yeah.
and you can have between the rooms, you can have these hallways, so it's very practical because
Mm-hmm.
if you have multiple rooms, you don't have to walk through the room. You have
Mm-hmm.
this outside the room hallway. But when you open all the rooms, all the sliding doors, then you can access the outside view. Well, like
Mm-hmm.
you can choose that way. And I
Yeah.
I love that about traditional Japanese houses. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful, simple design.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm.
have seen a lot of old houses where people just use the engawa for storage. I was like, "Oh, no, what a
Yeah.
waste," you know? But then it's hard to have enough
Right.
storage inside the rooms,
Right.
and then some people have taken the engawa and made it into, like, sitting areas, so you
Mm-hmm.
have chairs there and you're looking at the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen various renditions, like, various ways to change the
Mm-hmm.
use of engawa, but I
Mm-hmm.
think keeping it the traditional use as a hallway and that buffer between outside
Right.
inside
Right. Right.
is also so lovely, right?
Yeah. So that yeah, you said the buffer. That area is really really important. I think if there is no buffer area, people don't feel like to open the window. But like there's a buffer area, people feel like can open the door, like it's a sliding door with the tatami room, and then open the exterior uh, window. But there's buffer area. They can still have the privacy, but they can still see beautiful outside scenery. And then we can still feel kind of connection to outside. So I think that's the meaning of the buffer area of
Yeah.
Engawa, maybe. And then you actually mentioned the concept of storage. And then this is actually a funny story, but I've seen a lot of the cases like people are using tokonoma as storage. Haven't you seen anything like that? They're putting TV and kind of
Yeah.
like fans or something.
Absolutely. I've seen that a lot. So this beautiful area on the left with the uneven shelf, um, it looks perfect here as the guest house. You've got just some ornamental things, but absolutely, I've seen people make this into like the TV stand, put the TV there. And you got to make it work for what works for your family. But
Mm,
for sure, when you're doing a guest house, it looks so beautiful
yeah.
when you just keep it empty and just put some ornaments and things there.
Mhm.
Just make it simple and
Yeah.
and and spacious and
Mhm.
empty. That use of space, right?
Yeah. One of the old guy around here, and he's really loving flower arrangement and tea ceremony stuff, and he's really having the sense of culture. And then when he was trying to explain what that space is to foreigners, uh, uh, I mean, like, not only foreigners but young kids around here, and what he was how he was describing the space was a small museum. So for kids, you don't you can't put your bags here, and you can make mess in here, but put a beautiful flower. Doesn't have to be so expensive, but try to put some flower and try to keep this space clean.
I love that idea. Think of it like a little museum. I love
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Now, on one of the websites for Komachi, where you are right now in Kagawa,
Hmm.
it has you making some tea and
Hmm.
ohagi, which is beautiful Japanese azuki bean paste with
Yeah, I
pounded
love.
rice mochi, and that's from a local seller. And this is a wonderful way to include the community, have tea together with visitors, just creating this common space. What a
Hmm.
nice idea as a part of your office, but also
Yeah,
it could be a chance to meet locals, right? Nice idea.
yeah, yeah. That's our concept, and then so the small office building has office space and guest house space upstairs, and then the kind of small living space on the first floor. We are trying to make the community function like that. especially in the case of some local event, matsuri season or something. Yeah, our main business is to offer accommodation and running guest houses. But yeah, this is actually the thing Alex has been saying, and the idea he shared with you before. But our kind of like how to say slangs or kind of his magic is to make community and having the conversation with travelers, guests, and local people, and we have that kind of power to you know to gather people here, and not only here but Chiori or anywhere.
Yeah,
And then
and
local people are kind of
yeah.
looking for those kind of chances. Not only local people, but local people and travelers are looking for the chances to communicate with local people. I think
Mhm.
so. I really want to kind of offer and create that kind of situation, uh, and we do want to enjoy that kind of communication with many people coming to our place, and so we are trying to have yeah uh, the small space for people to
I
get.
love that idea. In most neighborhoods in Japan, you have the like kominka or somewhere where the neighborhood people can meet together, right? Like a
Mhm,
public space. But I think in a lot of these older neighborhoods, maybe you don't really have like one building that functions like that anymore. So it's
mhm,
nice when you're coming into a new neighborhood to develop a space like that where people could meet, local people can use
right.
it, but also visitors and locals can meet there. And then it connects nicely to that idea that Alex has also said about the developing the guest houses in rural communities is you're creating a reason for Japanese people or residents of Japan to move to that area,
Mhm,
work there, right? And to maybe have a business that connects to the guest house as well, like providing food or cleaning or guiding,
right.
right? And so you're helping to develop the community. You're not just selling, like guest house services. It's more than that, right?
Mhm, yeah, that's the whole concept of our business or project and activity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. In that same article I was looking at, it talks about a local woman, Tamai-san,
Mhm,
who provides guided
yeah.
services around there. Do you connect with her to get her to show the guests around sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, but and she's working in Utazu with me. Yeah, she's a manager in Utazu, and then even before joining us, she's been doing local tour guide, and she has been doing some research by herself. Uh, yeah, asking uh, old people about history of this area and something. So yeah, some yeah event time she's offering local tour guide.
Yeah, I think having someone who can bridge the old stories to the modern life. I do a lot of guiding and guide training
Hmm.
myself. So having that local resource of a good guide who can help bridge with visitors, Japanese or
Hmm.
foreign, to connecting them to the history and the culture and the modern life of the local area. Such a great asset.
Hmm.
That's wonderful that she's there.
Yeah, and then yes, she's trying to get the real fact of the history anyway, but her main focus is on like in connecting people to between local people and sorry, visitors, and she's really fascinated by the characters of local people, local older people, and then their kind of live talks are the remarkable uh, entertainment.
Yeah,
So that's our concept.
I'm showing the web page now where
Oh, thank
she's giving a tour.
you. Hmm.
Ms. Tamai's guided tour. Walk with her. You can clearly envision both the life and the history of this town. I love that idea.
Hmm.
We need more guides in Japan. A lot of visitors I meet say that they love seeing so many interesting things when they travel in Japan, but they're missing so much of the deeper meaning or the
Hmm.
relevance of things because they can't understand just by walking around or just by
Hmm.
googling. The
Hmm.
information is not there,
Hmm.
right?
No.
So
Hmm.
that's a real great asset. Have
Yeah.
you learned some of the local stories as you've been there as well?
Yeah. Little by little.
That's so nice.
Yeah. But I'm really enjoying, dealing with local people. Then I'm actually from, Shizuoka, and then not not big city, but like in a rural area. So I have like in the local connection, and so yeah, I'm kind of reminds me my childhood, and
Yeah,
then I like those kind of older people's talk. Yeah,
that's wonderful.
and the
Uh,
food.
just a shout out, we've got 2 people watching live with us, Natasha and Ethan on YouTube. Great to have you guys here.
Oh,
A
thank you for
Yeah,
watching.
yeah. And then let's talk a little bit about the room that you're in there, Toru.
Hmm.
So, I was commenting before we went live, I love the bamboo behind you.
Hmm.
And those beautiful big windows. And this
Yeah.
is something I talked with Alex before about renovating Chiiori. If you go to Chiiori, all of the big, beautiful windows so you can see the outside
Yeah.
view. And of course, renovating to make the old house less dark is
Hmm.
always a big
Right.
challenge, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So adding those big windows is a real redesign of a
Hmm.
traditional house because a lot of Japanese traditional houses are a bit dark and they have that kind of gloomy
Right.
image, right? So you got to lighten it up.
Hmm.
So it looks like you've got new windows and a little garden behind you, right?
Yeah, those are all totally new windows and pear grass.
Pear glass, so more
Right.
insulated. So
Right.
it's cooler in summer and warmer
Hmm.
in winter, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alex keep saying three or two major weaknesses of Japanese traditional houses were like darkness, coldness, and what is? Yeah, I forgot that.
I think
Okay,
the
so
image that people say for Minka, the old house is
yeah,
dark,
dark,
dark, dirty, dark,
co-
dirty, cold,
cold in the winter.
cold in winter. But most Japanese houses are really good, even the old ones, really good in summer because it basically lets the air flow, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, traditional system of airflow.
And then the
Much more.
darkness actually works well in summer because it keeps it
Yeah.
cooler inside, but
Hmm.
it's kind of depressing, right? Being
Right,
inside
right,
a dark house.
right, right.
So having the windows, but having insulated windows so you can keep the cool, keep the heat, that
Hmm.
definitely helps.
Hmm. And then, maybe the last one is kind of small, not like spacious.
Yeah.
That may be like cozy in good way, but like little bit kind of tidy feeling. So Alex usually takes out all sliding doors inside. Not all of them, but as much as possible. So you can see the layer. there. But there used to be a sliding door dividing this, open space.
So I'm showing the Chiiori Alliance website, so you can see beautiful Chiiori there,
Hmm.
and some of the other properties. So Chiiori has a few properties in the Ia Valley, where Alex's original house is, but the other properties there in the same valley as well, right?
Right, right. Mhm.
And so
One.
you see those big windows there, and then Alex talked about those lanterns, the floor lanterns.
Hmm.
He's so good at designing, but also he's great at salvaging a lot of antiques. Whenever
Right.
he sees an old house in Kyoto being knocked down, he always tells them to stop, wait, I'm going to take what I can, you know? So I'm glad
Yeah,
he's done that. We
yeah.
need more people to do that, right?
Yeah, I always feel like, when he's trying to grab everything from, the house, tearing it down, then, oh, wait a minute, we're gonna put all of them.
Yeah. Well,
But,
that's why you need maybe one of the houses just for storage, just for
yeah.
an antique museum for a little while.
Hmm. Hmm. But I know those, antiques makes huge difference. Yeah.
I think
So
so.
without those antiques, even if we or Alex can make perfect renovation, without those antiques, um, the space in the house won't be like alive.
That's so
Just,
true.
mhm,
Yeah, because um sometimes when you go into some of the renovated old houses that has been turned into Airbnb, for example, you
mhm,
go in and they have done what they think the visitor or the guest wants. They've made it all generic
mhm.
and everything is like clean, but
Right,
there's
right.
no character there.
Mhm,
There's nothing original.
mhm.
Everything has been redone inside modern, and you feel a little bit like I don't really feel the warmness of
Right,
living, of
right, right.
staying here, right?
Mentally.
Yeah, mentally, emotionally, I think it
Yeah.
connects to. So when
Mhm,
I walked into Chiori, for example, or the places in Kamioka that you
mhm.
manage, you immediately feel because of the antiques, because of the
Right.
calligraphy, but also because of the exposed beams, because of the natural
Right.
furnishings, you feel more comfortable
Mhm.
immediately, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, um, uh, I'm actually going back to my college, college days. But at that time, I didn't have any concrete idea about, the meaning uh, of interior so much. Even though I was really interested in, interior, but now, um, after working with Alex and seeing those antiques and making real space for guests, and then see lots of differences between, Alex spaces and the others, I do feel the the meaning or the importance of interior materials, and those are really uh, making huge differences and um, meaning a lot. So now, yeah, I've already graduated from university, and I can't go back. I can't go back there. But I'm kind of now remembering, what I was studying, or I try to kind of study again about those things.
I love that, Toru. I'm also always curious and always wanting to study things. I think we should be curious. We should
Mhm.
be lifelong learners. It's never too late to go back to school,
No.
even
Yeah,
if you research on your own, right?
yeah. Hmm.
We had some great comments. Natasha says, "Sounds like my basement apartment." So I think we were talking about the dark and the small and the cold, right? So that's funny. A lot of people can identify with that for sure.
Hmm.
And then it's gorgeous, the showing the pictures of the renovated places. Thanks so much for your comments, Natasha. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
So let's show a little bit of the other guest houses. So we have these in Togenkyo in Iya. Can you tell us
Yeah.
about these?
This is the main project we are doing in Ia Valley. Besides Alex Chiiori house, we have 8 houses in this village, and this village is called 充電家、重要伝統的建造物群保存地区 so long. Anyway, but designated as like area to preserve like historical traditional things in here by the national government. And then the local government, the Miyasi city, was trying to do something with this village uh, to to revitalize local economy, plus to influence the uh, new type of tourism in this area. Besides existing tourism industry in this area with onsen hotels something. So uh, the main character of this property is all houses are with those thatch roof, because thatch roof houses are the characters of this village, and we try to uh, keep all of them with thatch roof. And we have 8 houses there, and yeah, for interior most of them has irori,
Hmm.
uh
So the
very hard
inside fireplace.
fireplace, yeah,
Hmm.
which is traditional element of those that do houses. And nowadays we can't really make fire and smoke inside, but traditionally they always they always keep fire and smoke inside, and then that smoke can how to say protect the roofs from bangs and then some other bad stuff.
Would it keep the thatch roof dry easier and last longer because of the inside fire? Is that why?
Yeah, I think inside fire and smoke can a little bit help to keep the roof dry, but the main purpose is to kind of keep uh, the roof fresh or uh, getting rid of bags, I think.
Yeah, Alex had some great stories from when he bought this old house the first time. And Chiori, how it was like from the 1700s, like it was a really old house, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then
About 300.
he didn't have much money, he was a student, so he was trying to, reuse some of the thatch, but it was so covered in soot, right,
Mhm,
from
mhm.
all the fires over the years,
Right.
and so he talks about just being so dirty and everything covered in soot, and
Yeah.
the challenges of trying to renovate on such a budget by himself, right? So
Mhm,
he's learned so much over so many years.
mhm. Yeah.
How
About
about you? By working with these old houses, have you learned a lot about the houses themselves?
yeah, I'm learning a lot, and then we are really facing the difficulty of maintain those houses. Actually, one of those houses is now having the big issue with bang. Uh, like I said, um, so this year that house will be kind of researched. So I hope it's gonna be okay by the end of next March or something.
Is it difficult now to find artisans to work on the old houses, like people who know how to repair old houses, like thatch or
Hmm.
the irori? Is it more difficult now to find the artisans?
So sorry, what is our reasons?
The work people who are familiar and trained
Hmm.
to know how to use and to repair. Is it more difficult to find them now?
Yeah, I think so. But last year I met a professional Dutcher, and he said that the population of Dutcher is not uh, getting down so much, but maybe like going up a little bit,
Oh, wow. Oh, that's
increasing
great news.
over Japan actually.
Uh-huh.
So in local area, uh, those people are disappearing anyway compared to old days. In old days, there is those Dutchers and people can help Dutching are in local area and they are doing retouching by themselves.
That's
But
amazing.
nowadays, what's happening is for those commercial usages, that the houses are not really disappearing so much, but for those commercial usage, that the houses are being preserved. So over Japan, those dachas are still existing. So we are getting those dachas from outside, or having them to teach local people to 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 get the skill from them, and then that is the concept of our project.
That's great.
I mean, like that the um, concept that local government has. So they are not just trying to get data from outside, but getting the advice or getting help from outside and kind of giving the training for local carpenters to get
So to
know-how.
preserve and to develop the knowledge so that it exists in the future, right?
Right,
And that's a wonderful, sustainably focused, long-term view
right,
of we want to bring this culture back. We want to keep the artisans going and keep it alive so that we can keep these houses going. But it's not just about the houses, it's about the culture and the deeper traditions, right?
right.
Wonderful.
Not only hardwares, but like the softwares to keep those hardwares.
Absolutely. I love hearing about how people are redoing the thatch, and it's so beautiful. Like in the pictures I just showed, that beautiful contrast between the straw thatch house roof and the green forest behind.
Hmm.
It's such a beautiful view.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are really impacted when they visit these places in Ia
Hmm.
Valley, right?
Yeah. And then now your comment makes me think about the feeling I got from Frank Lloyd Wright. Yeah, those that do how these are really matching to uh, the environment. And those are part of the environment in village.
Yeah. So
So
so much closer to nature, right?
right,
Because
right,
it
right.
comes from the local area and
Hmm.
you can reuse it. How long do the thatch roofs last? Is it about 50 years if you take care of it?
Yeah, I think so. 50 years at the longest, maybe, but yeah, depending on the location, and some of them can just last 20 years or even less. and then they don't really have to research everything, but some but in the shadow.
So you don't have to do the whole roof when you rethatch. You can do parts of it if it needs repair. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the way old pe- um old people are old people are doing,
Mhm.
not just always retouch everything and replace everything, but some part are getting damaged.
Yeah. When I went to rural Kyoto to see a French design team
Mm-hmm.
that had redone the thatch of their roof, she was saying it's so wonderful to live inside a thatch roof house because the thatch roof collects all of the humidity. So
Mm-hmm.
it makes it really comfortable to live in summer or winter. And
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised by that. So it's so nice when you hear from people actually enjoying not only the beauty of it, but actually the practicality of
Mm-hmm.
living in a thatch roof house. You don't think of that as a practical roof. What? Made of straw? You're right?
Yeah.
But it can have some wonderful features as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do feel in summer when I walk into that roof house, yeah, it's cooler inside. And then in winter, yeah, it's I don't know. The time there was no air air conditioning or heater and the pergolas, and so it was really cold. Anyway, Alex was saying same thing, right? In winter,
Mhm.
it's a little bit colder, and
But yeah, Alex also says that you have to bring the traditional aesthetic into modern relevance, right? Like one of the key points of your guest house is
oh
you
yeah,
have to have a comfortable modern toilet.
right,
You
right,
have to have heating. You have to
hmm
have cooling.
right,
You can't make it uncomfortable for guests to
hmm
stay, right?
hmm
So that's a really important point, I think.
right, right,
And also,
yeah,
I have stayed in some traditional houses, which were renovated into guest houses, but, for example, they had us in different rooms in the same house, and
hmm
so it was so noisy. But
oh,
your places is just one house,
oh yeah,
one group, so if you're making noise, that's your own group, right? Like,
hmm
you're not gonna disturb other guests.
hmm
I think that's a really good way to do it instead of renting out per room.
hmm
That
yeah,
doesn't
I
make
think
sense,
so.
I think.
Yeah, it's very difficult to divide, rooms with like how do you say, like like uh,
Dividing
dividing
the
and then
stay by the room is too hard, I think, yeah.
yeah, and then getting and then reducing the not the noise to each
No, the
other.
noise the
So
noise is hard in an old house, right?
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I so the one place I stayed was in Onomichi, and it's a beautiful renovated house,
Mm-hmm.
but even people were not talking loud in the next room, but between the paper doors, it's
Right.
like, "I can't sleep," So it's so nice that all of the houses that
Yeah.
you're renting out,
Hmm.
it is 1 house per booking,
Right.
right?
Right. Hmm.
So I think that's a really smart way to do it.
Yeah. And then I was really fascinated by Alex concept. He loves all the stuff, but for guests or for us, modern people, we need like modern function, modern comfort. That's the base anyway. So without the base and unless we have like kind of feeling of safety. Uh, uh, we can uh, we can appreciate the uh, old things at all. So
Yeah.
that's what.
Before we started, Toru, you were talking about most of your job is like a manager of taking care of guest relations, for example. And you mentioned before the idea of omotenashi. What is
Mhm.
you say breaking the curse of omotenashi? Can you talk about that a little bit?
I'm actually a sarcastic person, so have sarcasm anyway. But uh, to me, yeah, of course, Montana, she is really good idea and concept, and we Japanese people should proud of that. And then people all about the world can appreciate that concept for sure. But the idea of omotenashi, I think personally, that creates the relationship, host and guest, something like that. A person giving something and a person receiving something. Um, that's fine. That's beautiful. But I I want to offer something beyond that. I want to give some idea or some opportunity beyond that, because I really experiencing those people coming to us are really looking for the eco communication, and they are trying to get into us if possible. And then I personally want to kind of embrace those people to our community, or to local society, or I just want to be a, friend with them, just uh, so that's the idea. And then uh, yeah, so that's that.
Yeah, no, I like that idea that it's not just business hospitality. It's not
Hmm.
just providing a service in a cold way.
Right.
It's much more engaging and friendly in a
Hmm.
warm connection way. And I love that idea. So omotenashi means empty hand, right? Like,
Hmm.
how do you provide the service in
Hmm.
traditional Japanese way? But sometimes it has a kind of a bad nuance because some hotels, maybe they say, well, this is our way to do it. We know the
Hmm.
best way.
Hmm.
And maybe it's not flexible
Hmm.
for people who want a little bit different way, or
Hmm.
vegan, vegetarian, or,
Hmm.
someone with a wheelchair, so
Hmm.
having the flexibility for traditional
Yeah.
hospitality in Japan is
Mhm.
something still quite challenging, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then I think flexibility is not uh, to do something perfect for someone. We don't really have to be perfect, and we don't have to give whatever uh, things guests want to do. But just talk and listen to them, and then just try to find something we can do. And then so sometimes it's just difficult.
Yeah.
uh, w- Sorry, we can't do anything for that, but
Yeah.
that's fine. But
But then
yeah.
having that clear communication
Right, right,
with the
yeah. So that's the
guests,
point.
and
Yeah,
if it's possible, you can do it, and then that just makes people happy that you're at least thinking about or trying
right.
to help, right? I
The,
think that's all you need
yeah.
to do, to listen and be clear in the
Hmm.
communication.
Hmm.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I think so. So that's kind of simple and not so complicated. And as long as we can listen to them, and then after all, the answer is just no, sorry, we have nothing to do. But that's fine for them, because
Yeah. I
yeah,
think
they understand.
most international guests, they're just happy if you can try. And
Hmm.
if it's possible and it works out, that's great. If it doesn't work out, no problem.
Hmm.
Most guests seem to have that attitude anyway,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. And then maybe like trying to get what they really want uh, behind their question. Uh, so that's important, I think. And then if we can get that idea, uh, we can kind of suggest something else, and then they can be happy with that. We can do this one, but maybe this isn't okay for you, something like that.
That's great. Hospitality in my book.
Mm.
This is a little difficult, but how about we do this, right? You're
Mhm.
kind of negotiating
Yeah,
hospitality.
and
I think most guests would love that.
mhm, yeah. I think guests may say like, "Oh, that's perfect."
Yeah, right?
That's
Yeah,
good
I think
enough. And
so. Well, thank you so much, Toru, for joining. That is our hour. I love talking about your projects with Chiiori Alliance. I hope I can visit more of them. They're always inspiring to me.
thank
How
you.
you're taking the old traditional house concept and providing such beautiful places for people to stay
Hmm.
with your modern concept of hospitality, of course, also connecting more flexibly, more friendly with visitors, but also bringing in local community, bringing back people to the rural areas to work at the guest houses as well. There's so many wonderful concepts you're working on. So thank you
Hmm.
so much for all that you do.
Oh, thanks so much for everything today, and thanks so much for being patient with my bad English.
No, your
And,
English is fantastic.
but this is actually for the last. This is kind of my challenge to dive into the communication with you know international people, and then I kind of want to show this process, and then I don't know, but this may encourage those people who are interested in communicating with English and with people
Absolutely.
about the world. So
Yes,
yeah,
we
this is
need more
really
people like you in Japan. Toru, thank you so much. That's a great attitude. You're inspiring so many people, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Thanks everyone for